All right, so I know you guys have heard about the Trace Act that seems a little bit suspicious. In this video, I want to give you guys the straight up facts. We are going to go over this bill together and we are going to go over the important parts, and I really want to focus on the parts that I think require a lot of discussion because I'm sure mainstream media will do a great job making it sound perfect. So I do want to kind of, pick this apart a lot. So please be sure to keep it locked for all that and more. It's Crystal with the Cash Compass. All right, welcome back. I am here to teach you all the things that schools should have taught you about money, but for whatever reason, they forgot to mention it. Please be sure to subscribe because we talk about everything from personal finance to investing to the economy. Let's get right into it. All right, so this is the Tracing, Reaching, and Contacting Everyone Act, aka the Trace Act, aka HR 6666. Who came up with these names? This proposal is a grant, which means taxpayers will be paying for this, right? A grant of $100 billion just for the rest of 2020 and also any future funds they might need for 2021 and subsequent years. So they're already trying to factor in potentially years of us going through this pandemic. I'm already about dead at 6 weeks. So the way that this will work is that they will trace and monitor the contacts of infected individuals and support the quarantine of these contacts through mobile health units. So what's that? Basically, they will have people hired to follow around or trace people who you have come into contact with if you've had the coronavirus. They conveniently can show up to your house and test you and then support any quarantine efforts necessary afterwards if you have contracted the virus. So these services will be provided at the comfort of your home if necessary, but I'm assuming they will have other places that they can also go to if you want to get tested voluntarily. Now, this money will be prioritized to the entities that will be hiring people for this that are in the communities that they are targeting. The communities that they are targeting are hotspots, which intuitively are the places that are the hotspots, right? The places that the coronavirus is alive and well, as well as medically underserved communities, which are areas with, poverty, high infant mortality, not as much access to proper healthcare and things of that nature. So, of course, it makes sense that they're going to incentivize people to hire people in the areas that they are trying to target, because what better way to track people than having the people who actually live in the community doing the tracking for you. This is not something that the government can do on their own. If they are trying to trace down people, just think about the people that you've come into contact with. Like, you could have been at the grocery store and you went to the cashier, then you had to make a return, then you ran into a friend. That requires a lot of effort. So if they can hire people in that same community, it would be much more convenient. The eligible entities include medical centers, universities, high schools, nonprofits, school-based clinics, and things of this nature. So basically, these entities will be given the grants to go out and find people, hire them, train them to actually do this contact tracing. All right, now let's break this down. And like I said, the good will definitely be mentioned enough in mainstream media. I want to focus on things that will make you think and have a really good conversation. So please talk to me about your thoughts on this. And please keep it nice. Align your chakras before you align those fingers in the comments, okay? Oh, and be sure to stop by the like button too. Thank you. So it's important to note that this bill is only in its introductory stage, which is good because no matter what side you are on, you can take action right now to kind of bring awareness to this bill. And in my description, I will have the link to track this bill, as well as some other links that I think are extremely informative if you want more information outside of this video. But let's talk about contact tracing to begin with, because I'm almost positive that you guys have never heard of this phrase until this pandemic. And that is because they have to get creative with how they introduce these things. This is, to me, straight up surveillance, right? They're gonna hire people and ask people questions. Where have you been? Who have you been around? Then they're gonna go and test those people. They're really just tracing your every single move. That is surveillance. But if you say surveillance, it obviously has a very negative connotation. But contact tracing is kind of neutral. We've never heard it before, so we can't really form a positive or negative just yet. It's kind of just giving it the eyebrow, right? And it's important to know that this has already been done in parts of Asia. And it's been done with a lot of success, right? Because the residents had a collective spirit to track each other down. And they did it all through an app. We really have an app for everything these days. So outside of the obvious invasion of privacy, because now you have to release information of exactly where you've been and exactly what you've been doing. But what happens after that? They found out that let's say they found out that you came into contact with somebody who had the virus. If they show up to your door saying they want to kind of stick things up your nose and test you, what happens if you say no? is this something that we have to do? And if we do, then this is definitely relinquishing our freedom. And it's easy to have people give up their freedom in times of fear, right? Don't let a good crisis go to waste. When there are traumatic things that happen in the economy, a lot of people kind of put the Constitution aside, they put freedom aside and privacy aside in the name of safety. And while I can definitely understand that side of things, I can also understand the complete shredding of our privacy, and I don't know that I'm comfortable with that. And also within this bill, the wording is that these mobile units will support quarantine. Now, right after that, it says you can basically quarantine in your house. So what more support do I need outside of self-quarantining at my home? I mean, I've been doing it for the past 7 weeks. Why do I need a mobile unit to help me do that? So my thoughts are, is that going to be some sort of force? What if you don't want to comply? What if you don't want to get into this mobile unit? It's also quite convenient that they will prioritize places like the hotspots and underserved communities, because I do think that quite obviously these communities have been impacted the most. So they are more likely to have a higher unemployment rate and, of course, higher levels of the disease within their communities. So if you have these mobile units and all these people working to do contact tracing in these communities, you get a 2-for-1, right? You get to trace everybody and invade their privacy and question them. And you also get to reduce the unemployment rate, right? Because over 30 million people have lost their jobs during this crisis, and I only imagine that the numbers might gradually increase. Granted, it has been going down, but it's still in the millions every single week. So if you are hiring people in these communities, you will be reducing the unemployment rate, which is another good piece of news they can kind of throw at us to make us get all warm and fuzzy inside, and they can actually accomplish their goal. And I also think that this would end up causing more fear than comfort, right? Because now I am apprehensive about going to the store, because I don't know who is actually watching me and trying to trace me down, right? Because these are people in our community. This could be your neighbor, right? They're trying to hire people who you are familiar with. So I don't know if you're going to try to contact trace me and have a mobile unit to my house. Maybe I'm going to be less likely to go outside. I mean, what will this actually cause people to do? How will it change people's psychology? Will people turn against each other because they are just nervous and panicked? I don't know. So those are things that I am thinking about, and I urge you guys to please talk to me in the comments. Please share this video. This is absolutely important. I think a lot of things I talk about are important, but this is something that can get swept under the rug if we are not keeping a watchful eye out. And if it's something that makes you uncomfortable, then you should speak up about it. If you guys do have a petition link, please comment it down below and I will pin that comment. If you have any thoughts about this, please talk. It's really good to get information. You guys are smarter than me in a lot of ways, so I know you can provide good insight and a different perspective as well. So please talk to everybody. All right, that will do it. If you like this video, please like this video. Please share it with your friends. And if you're not doing anything else, you know what I'm gonna say. Go ahead and binge watch me. And until next time, keep your money up.